Your silence after the disrespect is killing them. Stoicism. Silence is a source of great strength. Lao Tzu. Imagine the last time someone disrespected you, and you felt that burning urge to respond, to defend your honor, to show that you wouldn't be walked over. Now think about this. What if the true power lies not in reacting but in staying silent? In today's video, your silence after the disrespect is killing them. We're diving into the profound strength found in restraint, and how silence can become a shield for your peace, your dignity, and your inner strength. Here at Stoic In Your Life, we explore the principles of Stoicism that teach us to rise above the noise and focus on what truly matters. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any words, sending a clear message to those who try to disrupt our peace. When we choose silence, we're not ignoring the disrespect. We're choosing to rise above it, showing that our worth doesn't depend on someone else's validation. As you watch, consider how you handle disrespect. Are there situations where you could benefit from choosing silence instead of engaging? How do you feel about maintaining composure and letting your actions speak for themselves? Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. Strength in silence. Strength in silence, your power lies in what you don't say. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The concept of finding strength in silence may seem counterintuitive in a world that encourages loud responses, constant engagement, and quick reactions. But Stoicism teaches us that true power often lies not in the words we say, but in the words we choose to hold back. Strength in silence is not a passive choice. It's an active stance that requires discipline, self-awareness, and a commitment to inner peace. When you're disrespected or provoked, silence allows you to rise above the situation, preserving your dignity and ensuring that your response, if you choose to give one, comes from a place of strength rather than weakness. Think of silence as a protective shield, a space where you gather your thoughts, emotions, and energy. In this silence, you control the narrative. When someone disrespects you, they often expect an immediate reaction, perhaps anger or retaliation, something they can latch onto to justify their behavior or provoke further. By remaining silent, however, you disrupt their expectations, refusing to hand over your power and demonstrating that your inner calm cannot be disturbed by others' actions or words. In today's world, where the urge to defend oneself on social media or in the workplace is constant, this concept might seem outdated, but it's incredibly relevant. Silence can be disarming. It sends a clear message that you value your peace more than the fleeting satisfaction of a verbal comeback. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This means that by choosing silence, you're deciding not to let others' disrespect affect your emotional state. You're showing strength by not allowing their actions to define your response or self-worth. Think of silence not as suppression, but as a purposeful pause, a moment to process, reflect, and ensure that your next move is intentional. This approach is not about avoiding conflict, but about controlling how you engage with it, ensuring that you act in alignment with your values rather than reacting impulsively. Holding back words when your pride feels wounded or when someone undermines your value is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most powerful. When we act on every slight, we're letting others dictate our behavior. But when we stand firm, refusing to engage in their provocations, we're showing them that their words or actions have no control over us. In modern life, strength in silence is an invaluable tool, especially in professional settings. If a colleague or supervisor undermines you, silence can be a way to stand firm without compromising your professionalism. By not immediately reacting, you show that you can handle disrespect with grace, making your presence even stronger. This does not mean you ignore injustice or avoid standing up for yourself. It means you're choosing the best time and place to assert yourself, maintaining control of the situation rather than letting it control you. Moreover, Silence gives you the mental space to assess whether the situation truly warrants a response or if it's simply an attempt to provoke. Seneca once observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When you crave validation through reaction, you become susceptible to others' opinions. But when you're self-assured, you understand that not every criticism or slight deserves your energy. You become more focused on what truly matters, your own growth, goals, and peace. In relationships, both personal and professional, mastering the art of silence can transform interactions. When tensions rise, responding with silence shows self-restraint and can prevent words said in anger that may damage relationships. This is especially relevant for men in their 30s to 60s, as this stage in life often involves balancing career challenges with personal responsibilities, all while navigating complex social dynamics. Silence, in these cases, is not passivity, but a demonstration of confidence and emotional control. It signals to others that you're grounded, that you respect yourself too much to be dragged into negativity, and that you're above the noise. As the poet Rumi said, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation." This underscores that sometimes silence communicates more effectively than words, particularly when dealing with people who may not share your values or perspective. In Stoicism, the metaphor of the lion is often used to illustrate this principle. A lion does not waste energy worrying about the barking of small animals. It walks its path with confidence, undeterred by the distractions around it. When you adopt this mindset, you understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Your energy is valuable, and you should reserve it for endeavors that align with your purpose and long-term goals. Every time you choose silence, you are preserving your energy for what truly matters, for those pursuits that bring you closer to your ideal self. In contrast, reacting impulsively scatters your focus, pulling you away from the path you've set for yourself. Silence after disrespect isn't weakness or surrender. It's a form of mastery. It's about showing that you're above trivial conflicts and grounded in your values. The next time someone disrespects you, take a breath and remind yourself that silence can be more impactful than any comeback. It's not about letting them win, but about choosing to engage only when it aligns with your purpose and principles. This inner strength and resilience build your character over time, showing others that you are unshakable in the face of adversity. By practicing silence in these moments, you cultivate inner peace and respect from those who recognize the discipline it takes to remain composed. In our society, where quick responses and instant gratification are the norms, practicing silence might feel unusual, even uncomfortable. However, this practice aligns perfectly with the Stoic pursuit of a balanced life. It teaches us patience, humility, and focus. You don't need to react to every criticism, nor do you need to defend yourself at every turn. Remember, your silence doesn't mean agreement or acceptance. It's a choice to guard your peace, keep your focus, and retain control over your emotions. It's a powerful lesson in self-mastery that, once learned, can change the way you navigate challenges in life. So, the next time you face disrespect, resist the urge to react immediately. Hold on to your silence, let it protect your peace, and show the world that your strength comes from within. 2. Wisdom in restraint. When it comes to responding to disrespect or insults, our natural instinct might be to react quickly, defend ourselves, and make sure everyone knows we won't be walked over. But have you ever considered that there's far greater strength in holding back, in choosing not to respond impulsively, and instead practicing restraint? As the ancient Stoic Epictetus wisely advised, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This idea, while centuries old, is as relevant today as it ever was. In our fast-paced modern lives, whether we're dealing with disrespect at work, hurtful comments online, or disagreements in personal relationships, the power of restraint can transform how we handle these situations and protect our peace. Think about a time when someone tried to provoke you or get a reaction out of you. Maybe it was a coworker undermining you in a meeting or a friend making a cutting comment. It's all too easy to respond emotionally, but in doing so, we hand over our power and let others control our emotions. By choosing restraint, however, we not only surprise the other person but also gain the upper hand by refusing to let their behavior dictate our response. This is the essence of wisdom in restraint, understanding that not every comment deserves your energy, and not every battle needs to be fought. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or avoiding conflict. It's about recognizing which interactions are worth your energy and which aren't. Consider this. When we react to every slight or insult, we're essentially allowing others to control our emotions, letting their words and actions dictate our inner state. But when we choose restraint, we're telling ourselves, and others, that we have the power to control our own emotions. This isn't easy, and it takes practice and discipline, but it's a skill that can elevate your interactions and relationships over time. Imagine a scenario in today's world. Perhaps you've worked hard on a project, only for someone to belittle your efforts or take credit for your ideas. The immediate impulse might be to confront them, to set the record straight in front of everyone. But ask yourself, what would you truly gain from that? Would the satisfaction of a brief confrontation be worth the loss of your inner peace? Instead, by exercising restraint, you can maintain your composure, assess the situation rationally, and decide on a response that aligns with your values and goals, rather than simply reacting in the heat of the moment. This approach helps you stay focused on what truly matters and protects your mental and emotional energy. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always have the option of having no opinion." This doesn't mean you ignore what's happening around you or become passive, but rather that you choose not to allow others' actions to disturb your peace. Every time we choose restraint, we're making a powerful statement about our own self-worth, demonstrating that we don't need to prove ourselves to those who seek to bring us down. In a way, restraint can be a silent form of self-respect. It's an acknowledgement that you are in control of your own feelings and reactions. Today, this concept is crucial as we navigate the challenges of social media, where we're often exposed to negative comments or people trying to provoke us. How often do we see people getting drawn into arguments online, wasting their time and energy on people they may never meet? By practicing restraint in these moments, we protect our mental well-being and maintain our dignity. So, next time you feel provoked or disrespected, take a pause and ask yourself if responding would truly serve you. What would you gain from reacting, and would it align with the person you want to be? When we master the art of restraint, we learn to respond from a place of clarity rather than reacting from a place of anger or frustration. This doesn't mean we ignore situations that require action or fail to set boundaries when necessary, but it does mean we're discerning about where we place our focus and energy. By choosing not to react, we shift our perspective and take control of the narrative. We recognize that ultimately, the only power others have over us is the power we give them through our reactions. In every situation, remember that you hold the reins, and sometimes the greatest wisdom is in the restraint you choose. So, in moments of challenge, let restraint guide you. By doing so, you build resilience, preserve your peace, and show others the strength that lies in true Stoic self-mastery. 3. Self-control and dignity. Have you ever found yourself on the brink of losing your temper, your emotions threatening to take over because someone disrespected you or pushed your buttons? In those moments, it's easy to react impulsively, but have you considered the profound power in exercising self-control and maintaining your dignity instead? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By choosing self-control, you assert true freedom over your emotions, refusing to let external circumstances dictate your inner state. When you hold on to your dignity, you not only preserve your self-respect, but also command respect from others. Think about it. Who holds more power, the person who reacts to every provocation, or the one who remains composed and unshaken? In today's fast-paced world, where reactions are instant and often unfiltered, Embracing self-control sets you apart, showing that you are governed by thoughtful intention rather than fleeting emotions. Consider a modern scenario. You're at work, and a colleague undermines you in front of others. The immediate urge might be to snap back, to defend yourself aggressively. But what if instead you took a deep breath and responded with grace, or perhaps chose not to engage at all? By doing so, you not only diffuse potential conflict, but also demonstrate leadership and emotional intelligence. As Mahatma Gandhi wisely noted, "Nobody can hurt me without my permission." This perspective empowers you to decide how external actions affect you internally. Have you ever noticed how reacting in anger often leaves you feeling worse while maintaining control brings a sense of peace and strength? By practicing self-control, you're not suppressing your emotions, but rather managing them in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Self-control and dignity are intimately connected. Dignity arises from a deep understanding of your own worth, independent of others' opinions or actions. When you carry yourself with dignity, you signal to the world that you respect yourself and expect the same from others. This doesn't mean you allow people to mistreat you. Instead, you address issues calmly and assertively without compromising your integrity. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By focusing on controlling your responses rather than external factors, you cultivate inner strength and resilience. So, how can you develop greater self-control in your daily life? Start by becoming more aware of your triggers and practicing mindfulness. When emotions surge, pause and ask yourself, "Is this reaction going to serve me well? What outcome do I truly desire?" Engaging with open-ended questions like these shifts your mindset from reactive to reflective. It allows you to consider the bigger picture and choose actions that uphold your dignity. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic instead of reacting with anger, you might consider that they could be rushing to an emergency. This reframing not only prevents unnecessary stress, but also reinforces your control over your own emotions. Moreover, by not allowing external situations to disrupt your peace, you set a powerful example for others. Imagine the impact if more people chose self-control over impulsive reactions. Our interactions would be more respectful, and conflicts could be minimized. Stories of individuals who exemplify self-control and dignity can be inspiring. Take, for example, a renowned athlete who, despite facing harsh criticism and personal attacks, chooses to focus on their performance rather than engaging with detractors. Their success becomes the ultimate response, highlighting that dignity and self-control can speak louder than words. Have you ever admired someone for their composure under pressure? Chances are, their ability to remain dignified made a lasting impression on you. This demonstrates how these qualities not only benefit you personally, but also positively influence those around you. In relationships, both personal and professional, self-control fosters trust and respect. When others know that you won't fly off the handle at the slightest provocation, they feel more comfortable communicating openly with you. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's about expressing them constructively. As the philosopher Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." By mastering your own emotions, you become mightier in character and influence. So the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, I encourage you to take a moment before reacting. Ask yourself, what response aligns with my values and the person I strive to be? Remember that every reaction is a choice, and by choosing self-control and dignity, you empower yourself. You might be surprised at how this approach not only diffuses tension, but also earns you greater respect from others. After all, true strength isn't measured by how loudly we react, but by how calmly we manage our responses. Embracing self-control and dignity is a transformative practice that enhances your life on multiple levels. It allows you to navigate difficulties with grace, build stronger relationships, and maintain inner peace. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, intentional rather than impulsive. So, will you choose to harness the power of self-control and uphold your dignity in the face of life's challenges? The decision is yours. and the benefits are profound. As you move forward, keep in mind the words of Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Your growth and freedom await in the choices you make every day. Choose wisely, and let your self-control and dignity lead the way. 4. Not every reaction is necessary. There's a wisdom that says, the only way to win with a toxic person is not to play. This line captures an essential truth about reacting to the slights and provocations that life inevitably throws at us. When someone disrespects us, it's natural to feel the urge to fire back, to stand our ground, to prove we're not to be messed with. But here's the thing. Many times, the strongest and wisest response is no response at all. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction is your power. Once you hand it over, you let others control you. When we realize that not every situation or comment deserves our energy, we gain the freedom to decide which battles truly serve us and which ones will only drain us. In today's world, from social media debates to workplace drama, this concept is more relevant than ever. Think about how often you've seen people get into endless arguments online or engage in conflicts that bring no resolution. Those battles rarely lead anywhere productive. They only leave people feeling more frustrated and emotionally exhausted. So how can you decide when to respond and when to let things go? One powerful way is to ask yourself, will this reaction bring me closer to my goals? Or is it just a momentary satisfaction that will leave me feeling drained afterward? A famous saying by Marcus Aurelius, "You always have the option of having no opinion," reminds us that we can choose silence. We don't have to engage in every conflict or comment on every issue. Instead, we can conserve our energy, reserving it for the situations and relationships that genuinely matter. It's about valuing your peace and maintaining control over your emotions, rather than being a puppet to the provocations of others. This approach isn't about being passive or ignoring genuine issues that need addressing. It's about recognizing that some people's words and actions say more about them than they do about you. Think about a time when someone tried to provoke you, perhaps at work or in a social setting. Maybe a colleague made a snide comment, or a friend brought up a touchy subject just to get a reaction. Often, they're looking to get under your skin, to see you lose your cool. But when you don't give them that satisfaction, you're the one who comes out stronger. This is not about winning, but about protecting your inner peace. When you choose not to react, you send a clear message that your emotions are not available for manipulation. Nelson Mandela once said, "Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Letting go of the need to react to everything frees you from that poison and keeps you focused on what truly matters in your life." This approach is especially relevant in the digital age, where everyone has an opinion, and disagreements can easily spiral into negativity. Have you noticed how easy it is to get sucked into arguments on social media? People often feel emboldened behind a screen, saying things they wouldn't in person, hoping to get a reaction. But if you engage, you're giving away your time and energy to a situation that likely won't change anyone's mind or resolve anything. Instead, by choosing to scroll past, you're practicing self-respect and emotional discipline. It's not about avoiding issues or failing to stand up for yourself. It's about choosing the right moment and platform to do so. In most cases, choosing silence or walking away leaves a far more powerful impact than any argument ever could. It tells people that you have priorities, and petty squabbles aren't among them. In relationships, too, this lesson applies. There are times when loved ones, friends, or even partners might say something hurtful or unfair. Reacting emotionally can escalate a situation that might have been resolved on its own. By pausing, taking a breath, and considering whether a reaction is necessary, you give the relationship room to heal without unnecessary conflict. This doesn't mean you ignore hurtful behavior. It means you respond thoughtfully when needed and avoid adding fuel to the fire when silence can be more effective. Lao Tzu said, "He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still." Mastering the art of selective reaction is an act of self-mastery, showing that your sense of peace and respect for yourself outweigh the need to constantly defend your pride. Ultimately, learning that not every reaction is necessary is a way of protecting your energy, saving it for the things and people that truly matter to you. It's a form of emotional budgeting, spending your energy wisely instead of exhausting yourself over things that will seem trivial in the grand scheme of life. Consider this. Will that hurtful comment, that social media argument, or that minor misunderstanding matter a month, a year, or 5 years from now? Often the answer is no, and realizing this helps us to step back and focus on what really deserves our attention. Remember, silence can be a statement. It can show that you're above the negativity, that your focus is on a bigger picture, and that you value your peace too much to let anyone disrupt it. As you navigate through life, ask yourself, does this reaction serve my growth, my peace, and my purpose? If the answer is no, let it pass. Learning to pause before reacting doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. It allows you to keep your dignity intact, showing that you don't need to fight every battle to prove your worth. This mindset is empowering, freeing you from the need to constantly defend or explain yourself. It's a reminder that you are in control of your responses, and in many cases the strongest reaction is no reaction at all. Choose your battles wisely, preserve your energy, and remember that often the most powerful statement you can make is simply to remain silent. This quiet strength speaks volumes, earning you the respect of others and, most importantly, respect for yourself. In the words of Seneca, "He who is brave is free." By bravely choosing silence and restraint, you liberate yourself from the trivial conflicts that distract from your journey, focusing instead on what truly brings you fulfillment and peace. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude for having you as part of our community. It truly is a pleasure to share this journey with each of you. If you'd like, please feel free to share your story or personal impressions with us. And if you're not sure what to say, simply comment, "I am a newbie" if you're just starting out with us, or "I am Stoic" if you've been with us for a while. Your engagement not only signifies your presence, but also motivates us to keep creating meaningful content. All right, let's keep moving forward on this journey together, shall we? 5. Understanding others' actions. When someone disrespects or belittles us, our instinct might be to take their words or actions personally, to assume their behavior is a reflection of something about us. But have you ever stopped to think that the way people treat others often says more about them than it does about us? As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This quote reminds us that people's actions are usually influenced by their own inner struggles, insecurities, and perspectives, not necessarily by who we are or what we've done. Think about the last time someone acted harshly or unfairly towards you. Was it truly because of something you did, or was it more about something they were going through? We all face challenges, fears, and frustrations, and sometimes people unintentionally project those feelings onto others. Recognizing this is key to understanding others' actions and not taking everything personally. In today's fast-paced world, we're often quick to judge and respond, especially when someone's behavior hurts us or catches us off guard. Yet, understanding others' actions means looking deeper, seeing beyond the immediate words or actions to the possible reasons behind them. Maybe the person who cut you off in traffic was rushing to an emergency, or the coworker who snapped at you is dealing with personal stress. This doesn't excuse poor behavior, but it gives us perspective, helping us to stay grounded and maintain our peace. When we understand that others' actions are often reflections of their inner battles, it becomes easier to let go of anger and respond with empathy instead of frustration. How often do we misinterpret a friend's silence or a stranger's harsh words, only to later learn they were facing something difficult that had nothing to do with us? Consider a story from modern life. Imagine someone at work who always seems critical or dismissive. It's tempting to feel frustrated or resentful, assuming they're just difficult. But what if you later learn that this person is dealing with intense personal struggles, perhaps a family issue or health problem that weighs heavily on their mind? Suddenly their behavior takes on new meaning, and instead of reacting with anger, you might feel compassion. We never truly know what someone else is carrying, and this awareness can help us avoid taking their actions too personally. This doesn't mean you allow people to treat you poorly. It simply means that you approach situations with understanding. When you do, you're not only protecting your peace but also giving yourself a sense of control over how you respond. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control others, we can control our response to them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This insight encourages us to pause, observe, and listen before reacting. Instead of immediately getting defensive, ask yourself, what might be influencing their behavior? Maybe they're projecting their own fears or disappointments. When we view others' actions from this angle, we become less reactive and more understanding. Practicing this kind of awareness in daily life can shift how we view conflict and interaction, ultimately leading to healthier and more meaningful relationships. For instance, the next time a loved one is short-tempered with you, rather than snapping back, consider the challenges they might be facing. It's possible they're not intending to hurt you but are simply overwhelmed by their own stress. By choosing to understand, rather than react, you free yourself from the cycle of negativity that can arise from misinterpreted actions. This doesn't mean tolerating poor treatment. It's about choosing when to engage and when to let things go. The ability to look past surface actions and see underlying motives is a powerful tool in maintaining inner peace and showing maturity. In today's society, where opinions clash and misunderstandings are common, adopting this mindset can be transformative. It allows you to rise above petty conflicts, focusing instead on your own growth and emotional resilience. People may continue to act out of their own insecurities or frustrations, but by choosing not to take it personally, you remain grounded in who you are and what you stand for. So, how can we start putting this understanding into practice? Begin by reframing your perspective the next time someone's words or actions upset you. Ask yourself, is this really about me, or could it be about them? This simple shift can prevent countless unnecessary arguments and emotional stress. Understanding others' actions is a way of protecting your own energy and focusing it on what truly matters. Life is too short to spend it reacting to every criticism or harsh word that comes your way. By choosing understanding over offense, you not only strengthen your own resilience but also cultivate a sense of empathy for others. Everyone has a story that shapes their actions, and while we may never know every detail, recognizing that fact can help us let go of resentment. This doesn't mean that we excuse bad behavior. It simply means that we choose not to let it disrupt our peace. As you go about your day, remember the words of Seneca. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Keep your focus on your own purpose rather than getting caught up in the emotional storms stirred by others' actions. In doing so, you'll find a strength and calm that allows you to navigate through life's challenges with grace and resilience, ensuring that others' actions don't define your peace or self-worth. 6. Maintaining focus on your journey. Maintaining focus on your own journey is a powerful and often overlooked principle in Stoicism. So many of us find ourselves pulled into distractions, sidetracked by others' opinions, or caught up in conflicts that don't truly serve our growth. As Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's great thinkers, once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This quote is a reminder that what we give our attention to shapes who we become. When you're constantly responding to the drama, judgments, or provocations around you, it's easy to lose sight of your own path. Think about it. How much time and energy have you spent on arguments that were ultimately unimportant or worrying about others' opinions when they don't align with your own goals and values? Staying focused on your journey means prioritizing what matters most to you and letting go of the need to react to every external stimulus that comes your way. Imagine for a moment that life is a road, and you're on a journey toward a meaningful destination, a place where you find purpose, fulfillment, and peace. Along this road, there are countless distractions, people trying to provoke you, social media demanding your attention, and even your own doubts questioning your worth. How often do you let these distractions pull you off course? Maintaining focus requires mental discipline and a clear vision of where you want to go. As Epictetus wisely said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This speaks to the resilience required to stick to your path even when others may not understand or support your choices. When you stay focused on your own goals, you may encounter criticism, people questioning your decisions, or temptations that could easily lead you astray. But with each step, you build strength, reminding yourself that true progress isn't about pleasing others, but staying true to what fulfills you. Consider how often people allow themselves to be sidetracked by unnecessary battles, debates, or opinions. We live in a world where everyone seems to have an opinion on everything, where we're constantly pushed to defend ourselves or prove our worth. But ask yourself, does engaging in these distractions bring you closer to your goals? Does reacting to others' opinions help you become the person you want to be? By choosing to focus on your own journey, you're not ignoring the world around you. Instead, you're deciding what deserves your time and what doesn't. In this way, you protect your peace and prioritize your energy toward things that truly matter. Imagine what it would be like if, instead of letting others dictate your thoughts and actions, you channeled all that energy into developing your skills, achieving your personal goals, and nurturing your relationships. This is what Stoicism encourages, a life driven by purpose and unaffected by unnecessary noise. In modern life, this concept is more relevant than ever. Social media, for example, is filled with the opinions, achievements, and judgments of others, constantly inviting us to compare ourselves, to react, or to feel less than enough. But what if, instead of being pulled into the lives of others, you dedicated yourself fully to your own growth? Remember the words of Seneca, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." When you constantly look outside yourself for validation or chase distractions, you end up feeling depleted. Instead, if you focus on what fulfills you, on what you can control and improve, you find a wealth that comes from within, a wealth of satisfaction, peace, and self-assurance that no one can take from you. Maintaining focus on your journey doesn't mean you become isolated or indifferent to others. Rather, it means you consciously decide where your energy goes. When you know what truly matters to you, it's easier to let go of small irritations, negative comments, or the pressure to conform. It allows you to rise above, choosing responses that align with your purpose instead of reacting impulsively. As you walk this path, you'll find that some people support you, while others may question or criticize you. This is normal, and it's crucial to remember that you are not here to fulfill anyone else's expectations but your own. Your journey is unique, and it doesn't need validation from anyone who doesn't understand it. Instead of seeking approval from others, seek approval from yourself. Ask yourself, are you living in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals? Think of this focus as a shield that protects you from needless distractions. Every time you choose to stay focused, you're reinforcing that shield, building a barrier against anything that might pull you off track. This doesn't mean there won't be challenges or that you'll never feel tempted to engage with distractions. It means you have a clear priority, your journey, your growth, and everything else is secondary. Remember, as the poet Rumi once said, "Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames." Surround yourself with people and environments that support your growth, and be mindful of those that drain you or pull you down. Focusing on your journey also means choosing relationships, habits, and environments that align with your purpose and let go of those that don't. So, what's one step you can take today to refocus on your journey? It could be as simple as limiting time spent on social media, setting clearer boundaries with people who don't support your goals, or dedicating more time to activities that bring you closer to where you want to be. It could mean creating a personal vision that keeps you centered, so when life's distractions try to pull you away, you have a strong reason to stay the course. Life is filled with moments where we can either step forward toward growth or let ourselves get pulled into distractions. Each time you choose focus over distraction, you're reinforcing your commitment to a life of meaning, peace, and fulfillment. Remember that every reaction, every response, and every choice either takes you closer to or further from the person you want to be. As you continue on your journey, hold on to these words from Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Keep your thoughts directed toward your goals. Choose your battles wisely, and never lose sight of what truly matters. When you dedicate yourself fully to your own journey, not only do you find fulfillment, but you inspire others to find strength and purpose in theirs as well. 7. Clarity through silence. Silence is a true friend who never betrays, said Confucius, and his words remind us that the power of silence goes far beyond simply keeping quiet. It can reveal the clarity we need in life's most challenging moments. In our fast-paced world, where people seem to react instantly to every slight disagreement or irritation, the ability to pause, reflect, and choose silence is a rare and powerful skill. When someone disrespects us or provokes us, our instinct might be to respond right away, to defend ourselves, to make sure they know they've crossed a line. But Stoicism teaches us that silence can be a weapon, a way to retain our power and show our strength. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." In choosing silence, we refuse to let someone else dictate our emotional state. We step back, breathe, and in that quiet space, we find a clarity that anger and quick reactions can never bring. Silence isn't about suppression or weakness. It's about seeing the truth of a situation without the fog of immediate emotion. Have you ever noticed that when you step away from a heated moment, clarity often follows? That's because silence gives us the room to think, to question our initial reactions, and to consider the impact of our words and actions. In silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Imagine a time when someone insulted you or challenged you publicly. The urge to respond, to retaliate, might have been strong, but by staying silent, you held on to your power. Silence has a way of diffusing tension, of unsettling those who seek a reaction from you, leaving them wondering what your silence means. In the process, you maintain control over the situation and, more importantly, over yourself. The ancient Stoics knew that silence could be a gateway to wisdom. As Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This perspective encourages us to prioritize observation over impulsive speech, reminding us that clarity often comes when we allow ourselves to listen, to ourselves and to others. In today's world, silence is more relevant than ever, particularly in digital spaces where people argue and confront each other daily over small matters. Social media, with its relentless pace and demand for instant opinions, has conditioned many of us to believe we need to respond to every comment, every slight, every challenge. But what if, instead, we chose silence? What if we allowed ourselves to step back, reflect, and understand before rushing to respond? By doing so, we gain a profound advantage: clarity. We see what's truly worth our attention and what's not, and we make choices that align with our values and goals rather than succumbing to the need for validation. Imagine the strength you can develop by choosing silence in moments that would usually provoke you. Over time, you'll notice that this choice not only preserves your peace, but also strengthens your sense of self. When we refuse to react to every irritation, we're saying to the world, I know my worth and I won't be swayed by trivialities. Choosing silence also builds respect. People come to understand that you don't respond to provocations and petty issues because you're grounded in something deeper. They see that your silence isn't a retreat but a stance of strength. A famous proverb says, "Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt." This doesn't imply that we suppress our thoughts or opinions, but rather that we choose our battles wisely. In professional settings, this can be especially powerful. Think about how often people get drawn into unnecessary conflicts at work, defending their pride or battling over trivial issues. By choosing silence, you avoid the noise, allowing your actions and integrity to speak louder than any words could. This quiet confidence can be a game changer in a world where many people feel the need to react to every slight. Silence can also be a tool for reflection. In the quiet moments, you have the chance to analyze your own emotions and understand why something has affected you. Rather than projecting anger or frustration onto others, silence gives you the opportunity to face your own triggers, to question why certain words or actions stir you so deeply. By doing this inner work, you're able to approach future challenges with greater resilience and calm. The next time someone disrespects you or tries to provoke you, try this. Instead of reacting, take a moment to go silent and ask yourself, why does this bother me? Often, in that moment of introspection, you'll find the root of your discomfort, which has more to do with your own insecurities than with the actions of others. This practice not only enhances self-awareness but also fosters a sense of emotional maturity. When you master this, you'll find yourself less affected by the judgments or opinions of others, more focused on your own path, and able to handle conflict with a calmness that sets you apart. In relationships, silence can serve as a bridge rather than a barrier. Sometimes, when tensions rise with loved ones or friends, silence allows both sides to step back and gain perspective without escalating the situation. In those moments, choosing not to respond immediately can prevent misunderstandings and help you communicate more effectively. Silence gives you the chance to listen fully, to hear the other person's words without rushing to defend yourself. By creating this space, you build a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, one that values thoughtfulness over immediate reactions. As Seneca wisely noted, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Choosing silence in tense moments requires courage too, the courage to face emotions without letting them control you. So, how can you start using silence as a tool for clarity in your own life? Begin by recognizing that not every comment or slight requires your energy. In moments of tension, breathe, pause, and remind yourself that silence often brings a wisdom that words can't. Next time you feel provoked or disrespected, try allowing a few moments of silence to settle your thoughts. In that space, ask yourself if responding will bring value or simply fuel the fire. Silence is not about avoiding confrontation, but about choosing when it's worth your time and when it's not. Think of silence as a boundary, one that protects your peace and reinforces your sense of self. Over time, this practice will cultivate a strong inner clarity, a calm center that can weather any storm, no matter what life or others throw your way. Remember that silence is not emptiness. It's a space filled with intention, with strength, and with peace. When you master the art of silence, you're not only preserving your dignity but also accessing a powerful tool for self-control and wisdom. As you go forward, carry with you the words of Rumi. The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. By choosing silence in moments of tension, you open yourself up to a deeper understanding of both yourself and the world around you. Let this be your guide, a reminder that clarity and strength often come not from the loudness of our reactions, but from the quiet confidence we cultivate within. So, the next time life challenges you, consider the power of silence. Hold it, trust it, and watch as it brings you the clarity and peace you've been seeking. If you've made it this far, you're embracing the power of silence and self-control. Drop a comment saying, "I am grounded," to show your commitment to mastering Stoic resilience. Stick with us. There's much more wisdom ahead. 8. The power of perspective. Perspective has a remarkable ability to change how we handle life's challenges. When someone disrespects or offends us, our first reaction may be to feel hurt or to respond out of anger. But what if we chose to see things differently? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This quote reminds us that our perspective shapes how we interpret every experience, and that we can choose a lens that either strengthens or weakens us. Imagine someone says something rude or dismissive to you in a work meeting. The initial reaction might be frustration, a need to defend yourself, or a desire to fire back. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you might realize that this person's behavior has more to do with their own insecurities or issues than with you. When you choose to see the situation from a broader perspective, suddenly, that comment loses its power to affect you deeply. You're no longer trapped by a need to react because you've reframed the situation, seeing it for what it really is, a small, passing moment that says more about the other person than about you. Perspective is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that we have control over how we interpret and react to the things that happen to us. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea gives you a choice. Do you view each challenging moment as a setback, or do you see it as an opportunity to grow? In the modern world, with constant social media feeds, work pressures, and everyday conflicts, the ability to maintain a balanced perspective is more crucial than ever. Too often we let the opinions of others or minor inconveniences throw us off course, forgetting that we have the power to see things differently. By embracing the power of perspective, you can look beyond immediate frustrations and stay focused on what really matters to you. Ask yourself, does this issue truly deserve my attention? Will it matter in a week, a month, or even a year from now? This simple practice can help you save energy and stay focused on the bigger picture, rather than being weighed down by things that are, in the end, insignificant. There's a powerful story about a successful entrepreneur who was criticized heavily in his early days by people who doubted his abilities and questioned his vision. Instead of letting those words defeat him, he reframed his perspective and saw their criticism as a motivation to prove his own worth, not to others, but to himself. He used every negative comment as fuel to work harder and stay focused on his goals. Today, his story reminds us that it's not the obstacles themselves that define us, but how we choose to interpret and respond to them. By choosing a perspective that empowers you, rather than one that diminishes you, you turn every challenge into a stepping stone. What if, in moments of doubt, you could do the same? How often have you let the opinions of others shape how you see yourself, instead of holding fast to your own vision? Another example of the power of perspective is in relationships. When someone close to us acts in a way that feels hurtful or dismissive, it's easy to take it personally, assuming that their actions are a reflection of their feelings toward us. But if we step back and consider that their behavior might stem from stress, personal struggles, or even their own self-doubts, we can approach the situation with empathy rather than resentment. Shifting your perspective to see the humanity in others doesn't mean you tolerate poor treatment. It means you choose not to internalize every harsh word or cold reaction. This simple shift can make a world of difference in maintaining healthy relationships and inner peace. As Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By altering your perspective, you can prevent countless imagined troubles and focus instead on the realities that truly matter. In the professional world, perspective is equally valuable. Imagine being passed over for a promotion you worked hard for. It's natural to feel disappointed, even bitter. But what if you viewed this not as a rejection, but as an opportunity to improve, to strengthen your skills and prepare yourself even better for the next opportunity? This isn't about pretending to be unaffected, but about finding purpose, even in setbacks. Adopting this mindset can turn every so-called failure into a lesson, helping you build resilience and keep moving forward with confidence. When you embrace perspective, you become like a tree rooted deeply in the ground. Winds and storms may come, but your foundation is steady because you know who you are and what truly matters. The power of perspective also allows you to set boundaries on what you give your energy to. Not every comment, judgment, or event needs a reaction. Just as a hiker on a long journey must choose what to carry in their backpack to avoid being weighed down, we too must choose what's worth our mental and emotional weight. By selectively focusing on what enriches your journey rather than what hinders it, you reserve your energy for growth and purpose. Think about how different your day would feel if, instead of reacting to every minor inconvenience or criticism, you simply acknowledged it and moved forward, recognizing that not everything deserves a place in your mind. At its core, perspective is about freedom, the freedom to interpret life in a way that aligns with your goals, values, and happiness. In every situation, you have the choice to focus on what's constructive, empowering, and meaningful. The next time you feel frustrated, ask yourself, is there another way to see this? Often, a small change in how you view a situation can bring peace where there was once tension, clarity where there was once confusion. Holding on to this freedom doesn't just bring you closer to a fulfilling life. It allows you to create one on your terms. Remember, the perspective you choose is like a lens that shapes your entire experience. So choose one that strengthens you, uplifts you, and reminds you of your purpose. Let the words of Viktor Frankl guide you. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. By mastering the power of perspective, you unlock the ability to live life with resilience, meaning, and unwavering inner strength. 9. Long-term respect. Long-term respect is something that can't be earned overnight, and it doesn't come from loud declarations or constant defenses of who you are. Instead, real respect, the kind that lasts and deepens over time, comes from consistently showing character, integrity, and calm strength, even in the face of adversity. It's the kind of respect that's earned not because of what you say about yourself, but because of what others observe in your actions, especially in how you handle difficult moments. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This quote speaks to the idea that true respect isn't about talking. It's about living with purpose and integrity. When people see that you're steady, that you don't react impulsively to every slight or disrespectful comment, they start to see a strength that's rare and compelling. They see someone who is secure in themselves, who doesn't need to prove their worth with words or aggressive reactions, but instead holds their ground with dignity. Think about the people you respect the most. Chances are, they're individuals who carry themselves with quiet confidence, who don't let others' opinions shake their self-assurance, and who treat others respectfully even when respect isn't given to them in return. In our modern world, where we're often told to stand up for ourselves at every turn, the idea of responding with restraint can feel foreign, even counterintuitive. But here's the truth. When you constantly react to every disrespect, you're essentially letting others control you. By choosing calm over chaos, you're not ignoring the situation. Instead, you're saying, "I am in control of myself, and I won't let anyone else dictate how I feel or act." This is the foundation of long-term respect, knowing when to speak up and when to remain silent. Silence can be a powerful response that tells people you don't need their validation, that you value your peace more than the temporary satisfaction of an argument. As Epictetus wisely pointed out, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you choose to hold back, to let go of the need to defend yourself against every criticism, you're showing that your sense of self-worth is intact. This doesn't mean you allow others to walk all over you. It means you're choosing your battles wisely, saving your energy for things that truly matter, and letting the trivial go. Long-term respect is also built through consistency. Anyone can act composed and resilient once or twice, but it's in consistently handling yourself with dignity that you create a legacy others can admire. Consider a workplace setting where gossip and conflict often arise. Imagine a colleague who, despite provocation, always chooses to focus on the job, to stay away from petty disputes, and to contribute constructively. Over time, others come to see this person as a leader, not because of their title, but because of their character. They've earned respect by showing that they don't need to get tangled up in negativity, that they're above the small battles, and they're focused on the bigger picture. Long-term respect is like that. It's the result of continually showing up as the best version of yourself, of being consistent in your values and your actions, regardless of what others around you do or say. It's knowing that your legacy is shaped by your choices, and that each choice to stay calm, to choose peace, to focus on your path, builds a foundation of respect that can't be shaken. In relationships, too, this kind of respect is invaluable. When someone knows they can rely on you not to lose control, not to react harshly, but to respond with thoughtfulness, they learn to trust you deeply. Trust and respect go hand in hand. One builds the other. When you're consistent, when you're patient, when you show that you won't be swayed by every minor inconvenience or conflict, you're setting a standard that those around you can depend on. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, taught that a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Long-term respect is earned through how we handle these inevitable trials, not by how loudly we respond, but by how steadily we walk through them. Your silence, your patience, your ability to hold on to your values even when others disrespect them, these are the actions that earn true respect over time. So how can you start building this long-term respect in your own life? Start by practicing patience, by learning when it's necessary to speak and when it's wiser to hold back. Ask yourself, does this situation really deserve my energy? Will reacting here build anything meaningful? By pausing before reacting, you're showing others and yourself that your peace is more important than any fleeting victory in an argument. This mindset shift can have a profound impact, making you a person who's seen as grounded, wise, and respectable. Over time, as you consistently choose this approach, people will see you not just as someone who avoids conflict, but as someone with genuine strength. This is the power of long-term respect. It's not given, and it can't be taken away by others. It's something you build within yourself, and because of that, it stays with you. Remember, true respect isn't earned by winning arguments or proving points. It's earned by showing that your principles guide you, that you're a person of character, someone who chooses calm over chaos, purpose over pettiness, and integrity over impulse. 10. Actions over words. There's a powerful truth in the idea that actions speak louder than words. In a world full of constant chatter, promises, and proclamations, it's easy for people to say one thing and do another. But those who act with integrity, whose actions consistently align with their words, stand out in a way that words alone never could. This principle, one deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, teaches us that our character is shown by what we do, not by what we claim. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This idea speaks directly to the importance of living out our values and letting our actions demonstrate who we truly are. When people see that you don't need to justify or explain your worth, that your actions naturally reveal it, they begin to respect you on a deeper level. True respect, the kind that lasts, isn't built on promises or declarations. It's built on consistent, meaningful action. Think about the people you respect most. Are they people who constantly talk about their accomplishments, or are they those who quietly achieve, showing their strength through what they do rather than what they say? In our modern world where social media can make it tempting to broadcast every success or defend every decision, staying focused on actions instead of words requires discipline. But when you choose to act rather than speak, you set yourself apart, earning a reputation for being reliable and grounded. When others see that you don't need to engage in every argument or respond to every slight, that you're too focused on your own journey to be pulled into trivial disputes, they begin to see the strength of your character. They recognize that your silence is not weakness, but a powerful statement of self-assurance. And the truth is, those who rely on words alone to prove themselves often end up needing to talk louder and longer, while those who let their actions do the talking have no need to convince anyone. In any field or relationship, actions are what build trust and respect. Take, for example, a workplace setting where a team leader might speak passionately about goals and teamwork. But if they don't back up those words with actual support and guidance, the team's respect quickly fades. On the other hand, a leader who works alongside their team, who follows through on commitments and supports others consistently, earns respect without needing to demand it. As Lao Tzu wisely put it, a leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." This is the essence of leading by action, of being a person whose presence is felt through their deeds rather than through a need to control or prove. When you prioritize actions over words, you empower others to see the strength in subtlety, to value substance over appearance. In personal relationships, too, actions form the foundation of trust. We've all heard promises that were later broken or words spoken in the heat of a moment that were never followed by real change. For meaningful, lasting relationships, whether with friends, family, or partners, consistent actions are what sustain trust and respect. When people know that you don't make empty promises, that you are someone who follows through on your commitments, they trust you more deeply. Relationships thrive not because of grand statements, but because of everyday actions that show care, consistency, and integrity. If you've ever been let down by someone's broken promises, you know the value of this lesson. It's not about saying you'll always be there for someone. It's about actually being there time and again. Seneca observed, "It is not what we endure, but how we endure, that makes us strong." Enduring with action, rather than words, is what builds true strength and depth in relationships. The emphasis on actions over words also applies to how we handle adversity. It's easy to talk about resilience, courage, and perseverance, but the real test of character comes when we're faced with challenges that demand those qualities. When things get difficult, do you complain and look for excuses, or do you dig in and find a way to move forward? Those who face hardships with quiet resilience, who continue to push forward even when no one is watching, are the ones who truly embody strength. They don't need to announce their struggles or victories because their journey speaks for itself. This is the essence of Stoic strength, not needing applause for your efforts, not seeking validation for your perseverance, but knowing that your actions align with your principles and values. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This powerful statement reminds us that it's not the label or the title that matters, but how we live each day and how we handle both our successes and setbacks. In today's society, where appearances and public perceptions often seem to matter most, choosing actions over words is a powerful act of self-respect and wisdom. It's a reminder that our worth is not in what we say we will do, but in what we actually accomplish. There's a certain confidence and peace that comes with knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. When you let your actions speak for you, you free yourself from the constant need to explain, justify, or defend who you are. Instead, you're able to focus on your journey, on becoming the best version of yourself, without being distracted by the need for external validation. This mindset not only brings personal peace, but also earns respect from those who value authenticity and integrity. So, how can you begin to prioritize actions over words in your own life? Start by making small commitments and following through on them. If you tell someone you'll do something, make it a priority to keep that promise. Over time, these small actions build a reputation for reliability and integrity. Reflect on areas of your life where you might rely too heavily on words, promises to start a new habit, declarations of intent, or even defenses against criticism, and ask yourself if you could replace those words with meaningful actions. Can you show rather than tell what you stand for? Can you demonstrate your values through what you do rather than what you say? In a world where many people talk, you have the power to stand out by focusing on consistent, steady actions that reflect your true self. Actions over words is not just a principle. It's a way of life that brings you closer to who you truly are. When you choose to act with integrity, To let your deeds reflect your values, you build a foundation of respect that can't be shaken. You don't need to convince others of your worth because it's evident in everything you do. Let this be a reminder that true strength is quiet, grounded, and unwavering. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say." Live in a way that reflects this truth. Let your actions speak so clearly that no words are needed, and in doing so, you'll build a legacy of respect, strength, and character that will last long after any words have faded. Thank you for watching. Remember, in the face of disrespect, silence isn't just a lack of words. It's a powerful choice that reflects inner strength, self-respect, and wisdom. By applying these principles, you're not only choosing peace over chaos, but also paving the way for personal growth and long-lasting respect. How can silence transform your daily life? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know how Stoicism helps you find strength in challenging moments. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to Stoic In Your Life. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos on living with purpose and resilience.